All right, greetings educators. This is part 2 of New Mexico Junior College's Modularizing Canvas courses. In part 1, I talked to you about setting up your course information module and what to put in it. In this video, I am going to talk to you about Module 0. There's some research out that suggests that students who struggle with the technology while trying to learn the content have lower grades. So a few years ago, I came up with this concept about having students go through a pre-module that had the activities that were in the course, using those tools in those activities before they ever got to a content area. And so what I've done is I've created this module that has the lecture and the instructions about using the module. It has an introduction discussion. It has a student profile assignment. It has a contact information inbox assignment where they're supposed to use the inbox to contact their instructor with their contact information in it. We also have an academic honesty assignment, and then we have a syllabus quiz. Okay, so I'm going to get started by showing you the Module 0 lecture. So what I have done is I have recorded a lecture that has these instructions in it. So this lecture is basically telling them that they must do all of these activities before they will be allowed to move on to Module 1. And that the activities in this module are the introduction discussion, the student profile assignment, their contact information inbox assignment, academic honesty assignment, and their syllabus quiz. Okay, so their first activity is using the discussion tool by doing an introduction discussion. You can create whatever kind of icebreaker that you would like to be your introduction discussion. I just happen to use this one. If you were teaching a history course, I could see where you could make it content specific about asking students what their favorite period in history is. I've created a discussion rubric that you can adopt if you would like. You could take parts of it and use parts of it, or use it all, or you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But I would highly suggest putting some kind of roadmap into letting students know what our expectations of them are for this assignment. And if you'll notice that I have a thing here about the number of posts, the quality of the information, is it engaging, are they interacting with their peers appropriately, and stuff like that. So take a look at that discussion rubric when you have a chance. You may want to adopt it. All right, so the next thing that I have added into Module 0 is called the student profile assignment. The reason why I have added this assignment to the Module 0 is because, again, I am trying to reiterate to you, the instructor, that it's important for you to help your students create an emotional connection to you, to each other, and to the content. Having them put up a personal representation or a visual representation of their personality helps create that emotional connection to each other and to you, the instructor. They can do that by putting a picture of themselves or using an avatar, or maybe even putting a picture of a sunset up, whatever it is that gives them a visual representation of who they are. The directions are here for how to complete that assignment. You can adopt those directions without having to go further, or you can expound on them if you would like. The one thing that I do tell them in here is that once they have completed setting up their profile, submit this assignment saying you have completed the steps for setting up your profile. So there's two purposes of this student profile assignment. A, to get a representation of who they are visually. B, you know that they know how to use the assignment tool in your course. The next thing that I have added into Module 0 is called the contact information inbox assignment. So what we're asking students to do here is to download this document, fill it out, and send it back to the instructor through the inbox. What this does is it gives you their current contact information, which is important because we know that oftentimes Banner doesn't have current information to our students. The next thing it does is it tells you that your students know how to use the Canvas inbox. So they would download this assignment, open it up. Here's the directions for them to how to use the inbox. They need to fill out their name, their mailing address, reachable phone number, and email outside of Canvas. Okay, and then they would go to the inbox, attach it to an inbox conversation, and send it to you. What I do with this information is I put it into a folder for I keep a folder for each one of my courses every year so that I would have collected this contact information for my students for years. And again, if I've had a student who calls me and leaves a message on my phone and forgets to tell me what their phone number is or how I can contact them, I would have their appropriate contact information um, in case Banner was wrong. All right, so the next thing that I have placed into Module 0 is called the Academic Honesty Assignment. Often I have heard faculty say, my students don't know what plagiarism is. They haven't ever even looked at the academic honesty policy from this campus, on and on. So I came up with this academic honesty policy assignment because of that. I had heard faculty over and over again say that they wish they had a tool to get students to look at the academic honesty policy. So what we're asking students to do here is to download this PDF, read it, and resubmit it. Okay, so they would download it, read it, and read this statement that says, by submitting this file as an attachment in the academic honesty assignment, you agree that you have read the policy, understand the policy, and will abide by the policy. Okay, so when your students then thus submit it to you as an attachment, you know that they've seen the policy, you know that they can do an assignment and add an attachment within that assignment. But you also know that they have Adobe Reader because they can read the PDF. I use a lot of PDFs in the classes that I teach, and so I need to know that my students have Adobe Reader on their computer, and that's why I did this in PDF form. Some of our English faculty on New Mexico Junior College are going to be using this in doc format, and they will ask their students to turn it in through turnitin.com, the plugin that we have for Canvas for Turnitin, and then thus it will teach students what plagiarism looks like within turnitin.com. So if you'd like to know more about that, let me know and I can expound on the purpose of putting it in doc format and turn it into and having students turn it in through turnitin.com, the plugin that's in Canvas. Again, academic honesty policy tells you that they've seen that policy, they will abide by that policy. Second thing it does is tells you that they can do an assignment with an attachment. And third thing is that they have PDF and Adobe Reader. Now, what I do is I actually go and look and make sure that every student that has turned in the academic honesty policy assignment has turned it into me in PDF format. Now, do you have to do that? No. I do that because I want to know that my students have Adobe Reader because I use a lot of PDFs in my class. So there's that bit of information. All right, so the last thing that I have put into the Module 0 is a syllabus quiz. If you're going to require students to use, if you're going to have Respondus Lockdown browser required on your exams, then I'm asking you to do your syllabus quiz with Respondus Lockdown browser placed on that also. What that does is it gives students the opportunity to download Respondus Lockdown browser and use it before they ever get to a content exam, so that the problems with the Respondus Lockdown browser is out of the way before they're assessed on their content knowledge. You know also that by providing a syllabus quiz in your class gives you a better understanding, or gives you a a little bit more information about whether your students are reading your syllabus or not. I often hear faculty say, my students aren't reading my syllabus. Well, this will give you a little bit more of a guarantee that they will. Okay? And the third thing it does is it tells you that they know how to use the quizzing tool within Canvas. All right, so let's go back over this module. I have given you instructions, shown you how I instruct my students to do the module. There's an introduction discussion, a student profile assignment, contact information inbox assignment, an academic honesty policy assignment, and a syllabus quiz. Okay, so one of the other pieces of information that I need to give you is this. In order for my students to do Module 0, they have to have completed the course information module. See that prerequisite? Also, before my students can go on to Module 1, they have to have completed Module 0. Okay? So, the third thing is, I have also put a setting on here that before my students can do the introduction discussion, they have to have looked at the Module 0 instructions. Before that they can do a student profile assignment, they must have done the introduction discussion. Before they can do the contact information inbox assignment, they have to have done the student profile assignment. Before they can do the academic honesty assignment, they will have had to have done the contact information assignment. Lastly, before they can do the syllabus quiz, they have to have completed the academic honesty policy assignment. Okay, so they sequentially need to go through each of these activities before they go one to another, and they have to have completed this whole entire module before they can start Module 1. All right, the other thing that I'm going to talk to you about is putting points value on these activities. I put points value on these activities so that students will take ownership of the activities. I know that that may ask some of you to change your grading policy for your classes, but I think that you'll find in the long run that it will be more beneficial to you. The third thing is, another thing about the Module 0 is I would see keeping this open for just a brief period of time, whatever that is, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, possibly a week, but you would eventually close this off, and those students who haven't completed it wouldn't be able to go on to Module 1. Is it a gatekeeper? Absolutely, but it also gives you some control over whether your students are ready for the content. I'm going to break off now and go into recording part 3. Part 3 is actually going to show you how to import the course information module and Module 0 into your course. And I'm going to do that in a separate video. Okay, so goodbye for now. I'll see you in part 3 of modularizing NMJC Canvas courses.